Hello chefs and welcome to your vegan charcuterie class. That's right, we're taking something that traditionally was 100% meat-based and we're making it all vegan. So what is charcuterie? I know it sounds like a very fancy term, and it is because it's French, but it literally just means dressed meats. That's right. And originally it was typically with pork or with pigs, but it's actually transcended and we now have known charcuterie to involve almost any type of animal, whether it be a chicken, a cow, or beyond, and even fish. But all of ours, of course, are vegan versions. In the charcuterie course, we'll be making some sausages, some vegan jambon de Bayonne, a wide variety of meat, and even a vegan fish charcuterie. That's right, like a sea-cuterie. There's a fun play on words, sea-cuterie. I'm going to show you how to make a vegan gravlax. That's right. So why was charcuterie invented? What caused it? Did one day somebody wake up and say, hey, I really want to throw salt on meat? No, it wasn't that. Many, many years ago, they didn't have refrigeration. And there was always the idea of not wanting to waste any food, whether it be plant or animal. They really wanted to be able to preserve. So when they slaughtered a whole animal, of course, oftentimes that was too much for one meal, was too much for even for a week or for a month. They wanted to preserve the entire animal for a long period of time. And without refrigeration, they had to come up with something else to preserve it. And what they used was salt. So it was really out of necessity that they created charcuterie. So why did chefs choose to use salt for the charcuterie? Number one, it helps to create dehydration, which then in turn increases shelf life. So that's fantastic. Once again, we're keeping things safer for longer periods of time for convenience, safety, and versatility. Number two, the salt slows down the natural fermentation of the foods, which also again contributes to shelf life. And last but not least, the salt helps with something called denaturation. And the denaturation is something similar to a natural biochemical process. Think ceviche, where people take raw fish and then add an acid such as lime juice or lemon juice to it, and it cures it or kind of cooks it without adding any heat. Now, all of that was with animals, but now why vegan charcuterie? Well, once again, vegan gastronomy's mission is to veganize and create anything on the planet that traditionally was not vegan, and we make it vegan because we don't want to have any barriers to prevent anybody who's following a plant-based or vegan diet from being able to enjoy things that their friends or family created, their relatives, or when they're traveling the world. We don't want to have any barrier prevent you from enjoying foods that traditionally were made with animal products. So why vegan charcuterie now? Well, there's an even bigger push right now than ever before in the history of our world for international flavors and foods. While people have been locked up because of the pandemic, people still have a desire to try new things, so you can explore around the world via your plate rather than your suitcase and an airplane. Now we have access to so many more products and elements to recreate fusion types of dishes from around the world. And there's been a real surge in the idea of tapas. And while tapas is Spanish, it's very indicative and very much related to charcuterie. It's little portions and grazing. In fact, grazing table has become a hashtag and it's very popular of late. So it's the idea of communal eating, about eating just little bits and pieces, And it also relates to a healthier style of eating. So eating less instead of eating enough to stuff your belly. Think of like a Thanksgiving where you have to take a nap. This is a style of eating where you can just have little bits and flavors. I recently was in Italy, and while again charcuterie is typically thought of as French, in Italy, literally every single set of families, friends, and diners that was eating began with a small charcuterie board. So it was so customary, so typical, and it really lends itself toward a very communal, healthy, slower type of eating that you can enjoy with friends and family. Also, for easy entertaining, charcuterie can be made ahead of time. It's something that if you're catering your own party, you can make well ahead of time, and then it's just a matter of plating and presenting your foods. Or if you're doing this for a commercial or business application, you can also do it well ahead of time, and you don't need to use things like sterno or heating elements because it's typically always served cold. In this class, you'll be using just a few specialty items that we have here for you in order to make some of these charcuterie items vegan. That's right. So we're going to be using a brand new fat, something you probably have never seen before, or maybe you've heard of it. It's oftentimes just used for the body. It's called shea or shea butter, or in French you might know it as karité. That's right, karité. And we're going to be using that in a wide variety of applications. We'll also use some of our cheese aromas for the cheeses that I'll do. So I hope you enjoy this vegan charcuterie exploration around the world with me, and you make these recipes for years to come.